Hi, it's Kathy Kress again, and I'm back with my Geriatric Care 1 YouTube channel, and we are doing care planning right now. And this is the second episode. So, we were talking about you were like a detective, and like Sherlock Holmes. And Lori King, who lives right here in Santa Cruz, has a wonderful set of novels, and she has Sherlock Holmes' wife, Mary Russell. So a lot about you out there are women, and I'm going to refer to you as Mary Russell. So Mary Russell, you the detective, can always Google Lori King. She's a great writer. She won an Edgar Award. And, you know, Mary's a fabulous wife for Sherlock. And so what does Mary Russell do? You know, you gather all this information through your psychosocial assessment, your functional assessment, your geriatric depression scale, your care management assessment, and then you've got all this data, just like a doctor, you know, heart, lungs, MRI, and how do you sort through it? Well, you want to start with the problem. Your care plan always starts with the problem that you were asked to solve in the first place, because they will tell you, whoever calls you for an intake, why they need you right away, because there's a crisis. They're usually calling in a crisis. Nobody does this in a proactive way. It's always a crisis. My mother has fallen. My mother's in the hospital. What do I do now? So you start with a problem that you were asked to solve in the first place. Should my mother stay in the hospital and then be released and go home to a nursing home, or should she go home to her home, and how could she do that? So that's the problem you start with. Why were you called in the first place? And basically you start sorting through the data just right away, just through that. So how do you sort? In the second step is you did 2 assessments in a geriatric assessment. The first was a functional assessment. The second was a psychosocial assessment. You always start sorting with a functional assessment because most older people have chronic care health problems. And so why Mom ended up in the hospital was probably because of a functional problem. She fell because she has poor ambulation. So you go through your functional assessment, which you've already done, and you find all the deficits that you found. You know, the hose I talked about in the last episode that was, you know, a home safety assessment. She tripped over it and fell, ended up in the hospital. Or does she have severe arthritis? Because you've you obviously talked to the doctor, and you know that's, you know, she fell because her hip is arthritic and she fell. So you go through all the functional deficits that you found in your functional assessment, and that goes into the care plan first. And then you did a psychosocial assessment. So you go through that, and you look at all the psychosocial problems that you discovered. And psychosocial problems might be a person was unable to handle finances. And as a result of that, they were taken advantage of by one of their adult children. And I call adult children sometimes aging Peter Pans, because they've never had a job and the parents have supported them all their life. Or they've been taken advantage of by scams, or they're just not paying all their bills and they're about to be evicted. So that's a psychosocial assessment, because they're unable to pay their bills. They're unable to drive anymore. They've crashed into the fire hydrant. So that's a problem. You've got to take the license away. You know, psychosocial assessment might be that they're not able to maintain a good diet because they can't get out and shop because they can't remember to do it. Psychosocial assessment might be in your geriatric depression scale that they're depressed, and therefore you would, you know, think of having them evaluated by the doctor first, thinking about depression meds, and the doctor prescribes those. You don't. Your answer is they go to the doctor. But also bringing in social activities, or engaging them in social activities that they loved at one time and can't do anymore. Like they want to re-engage in the church because they love singing in the choir. Well, you can you can change depression by just changing the social milieu that they're involved with. So that's how you sort. That's how you're Mary Russell. And we will go back to care planning 3 the next time. And you can check out my blog at kathykress.com because I'm doing care planning right now. And I will see you next time.